Dads, when did you look at your son and think, that's my boy? I noticed my 14-year-old suddenly getting up 30 minutes earlier every morning. For a kid who normally needed 3 alarms and had to be dragged out of bed, this was beyond suspicious. When I asked what was going on, he just shrugged and mumbled, working on something for school. My son had never been an early riser, ever. This kid would sleep until noon on weekends if I let him. So when he started setting his alarm for 6:30 a.m. without any complaints, I knew something was up. I tried asking his mom, but she was just as confused as I was. We both agreed it was weird, but figured maybe he was finally maturing. Then, 3 weeks later, I got a call that changed everything. It was from the school principal. My heart immediately sank, because calls from the principal are never good news. Mr. Johnson, I need to tell you something about your son, she said, and I braced myself for the worst. He's been tutoring one of our most struggling students every single morning before classes start. I was stunned. What? She explained that there was this kid who had been failing every subject. The teachers had basically given up on him. He came from a rough home situation, parents working multiple jobs, no support system. The kid was angry, disruptive, and everyone had written him off as a lost cause. But your son saw something different, she continued. He approached the kid 3 weeks ago and offered to help. They've been meeting in the library every morning at 7 a.m. I was floored. My son had never mentioned this kid, never said a word about tutoring anyone. And here's the incredible part, she said, voice getting emotional. The kid just passed his first test in 2 years. His English teacher said it was the best essay he'd ever written. After I hung up, I sat there in shock. My son, the same kid who complained about having to help his little sister with homework, had been voluntarily getting up early to tutor a struggling classmate. The next morning, I decided to secretly follow him to school. I watched from my car as he met the kid outside the library. This kid looked tough, angry, the type other students probably avoided. But my son greeted him with a genuine smile and a fist bump. Through the library windows, I could see them working together. When the kid got frustrated and threw his pencil down, my son just calmly picked it up and said something that made the kid laugh. What really got me was watching the kid's transformation. At the beginning, he was slouched over, defeated, but as they worked through problems together, I saw him sit up straighter, engage more. That evening at dinner, I couldn't hold back anymore. So, tell me about this kid that you've been tutoring, I said casually. My son nearly choked on his food. How do you know about him? Your principal called me today. She told me what you've been doing. He looked genuinely confused, like he couldn't understand why this was noteworthy. Why didn't you tell us you were tutoring him? I asked. He shrugged, the same way he always did. It wasn't a big deal. He just needed someone to believe in him. Getting up early every day for 3 weeks isn't a big deal. Dad, everyone deserves a chance. That kid is actually really smart. He just needed help figuring things out. His home life is complicated. While other kids were sleeping in or playing video games, my son was choosing to wake up early to help someone everyone else had given up on. Besides, he added, cutting into his chicken, he's helping me too. He's teaching me Spanish, and he knows way more about cars than I do. Sitting there, watching my son talk about his friend with such genuine respect and kindness, I realized I hadn't just raised a good student or a good athlete. I'd raised a good human being. That's my boy.